everybody, and welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division with the various type of wins for the Spring Major Tournament and the Jamil Dunes. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also visit golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content. You can become a master in this game and get yourself an advantage by getting the best guides on the market. Link to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. And all our packages is in the description down below. I do think this tournament is going to be low scoring. I do think there is a couple of holes here that I do think is going to be a must. The par 4s are very reachable, and we're going to have either a short iron or a long iron trying to drop them from distance. And whenever that's happening, that's going to be almost equal with a must drop if you're going to win or come a top three in the tournament. I will provide you with not many different shots, but I will provide you with solid alternative that will, have an okay for hitting great left or great right, and you're still going to be safe. Make sure you follow the info box on the right hand side for the elevation for the first shot, second shot, and also what type of ball and club that I do think is going to be key to use on that specific hole. Obviously, I'm here to answer whatever question you have. Either you make a comment in the comment section below, or you go to golfclashtommy.com and fill in the contact form, and then you will get a response through email. In the end, let's freaking go and check it out, hole 1. Hole number 1, as just said, and now we are going to play with a Marlin ball, 4.5 bar topspin and 2.5 bar side spin to the right. Those of you playing with more advanced clubs, meaning an Extra Mile level 8 plus or a Thor's Hammer level 5 plus, Apocalypse level 4 plus, then you can push this drive way harder than what I'm doing now. But I'm going to explain why pushing it harder might not be beneficial for you. The thing that I'm looking for is to get this ball to bounce on the fairway in between the bunkers and gaining a distance up to where we do have a long iron towards the pin. Look what we do have there by the green. You see those trees that are in the center. We can actually just open that one up again. And if you take a look at the top by the green, you see 3 trees. If you push this drive hard and you're trying to go directly at the green, you might be struggling with the trees there, so make sure you keep yourself on the right hand side, even if you with superior clubs are going to push it harder. Second shot, we're going to bounce up towards the pin. This is going to be a good opportunity, as always, when it comes to par 4s. Bouncing on the fairway up towards the pin, and we're going to play without elevation. And have in mind here though that you can change the elevation for this shot, going from, it could be 0, it could be 10%, 20%. It's all matters on how you build the adjustment. Sometimes we might need to add a little bit due to having a strong wind, etc, etc. But as per default, we're playing with 0. And you can see even with a great left, we just missed that one to the left. And with a perfect ball, that would have been pretty darn close. So let's take a look at hole number 2, and we are going to play on the fairway pad that is to the left, bouncing over the rough and the sand, approaching the pin from there. You see that the green is very bright, which obviously is not easy then with a very bright ball guideline as well. Playing with the backbone gives me a good accuracy and a good ball guideline, but frankly you can play with whatever long iron you might possess. 10% over adjustment, and even though we are not in maximum distance, we are going to use maximum distance numbers. And you see that I'm using a right spin here, and that's why I do feel a Quasar is going to be the better ball here to use on the Jamil Dunes hole 2. Bouncing on the fairway, coming in very nicely towards the pin, and just missed that one to the right. The good part with this hole is that the green is flat, and we're going to have a better chance than making an hole in 1. Good chance, I must say, here for hole number 2. So let's take a look at hole number 3, and this is going to be a very interesting hole, and I must say I do think there is going to be definitely a good chance making an albatross here, but more on that in a bit. 4.5 bar topspin, 4.5 bar side spin to the right. We don't need more, even though we technically could push this drive a little bit harder. 10% over adjustment for the drive as kind of standard, because almost all the drives are playing slightly downhill. Perfect ball, and we're going to see our ball bounce over the rough and gain a nice little distance, and obviously we do want to stay away from the sand, but look how far we are before the sand there. And this is going to leave up for a sniper shot towards the pin, and here we do have a funnel. The problem in rookie though is that we are often not having the ball guideline on our sniper. See, sniper level 4, we don't have more than 4.0 ball guideline, but there is a massive funnel to the green, which is that you kind of can see when I'm moving a little bit with my target. You see that the top of the ball guideline doesn't really move, and there is also a rough bump here that also has a massive funnel. So those of you having an upgraded sniper, meaning sniper level 7 plus, then really try to catch the funnel there. And looking at the other divisions as well, you know, playing that rough bump was massive the last time we played this hole. The ball is coming in nicely, and you see an albatross here is not going to be impossible. It's rather going to be a very good opportunity. No elevation, it's what I'm playing here, but I would really recommend to really look at your adjustment. If you miss left or you miss right, you might need to tweak the elevation just a little bit to adapt to the wind that we're having on that specific hole. Good chance. So, hole number 4, par 3, we're playing with the backbone, or let's say like this, play with the long iron that you feel the most comfortable with. There is a rough bump possibility here, but I would strongly recommend to only play the rough bump if you do have a long iron with a 3.8 ball guideline or better, so you can see the ball guideline in a better way rolling out from the rough. So, when we don't have that, I'm going to go above the rough using backspin to approach the pin. The reason I want to choose that instead of backing to go before the rough is because then if we go before the rough, the risk of getting into the bunker is gonna be much higher than if we go above the rough like we're doing here now using backspin. So even if we have a bad shot, we're still gonna bounce over the bunker no matter what. Ball coming in very nicely here using maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment, and here I do focus on playing with a mauling ball, as I do not really feel that we do need any other type of ball, so then we can save so we don't have to spend any of the better balls here on hole number 4. The drive. Here you see that I first start with a mauling, but then I actually change to a basic ball. Why do I do that? It's because we really don't need any side spin whatsoever. Straightforward, first shot, straightforward, second shot, take the eagle. So this is going to be a very, very important hole in my opinion to get that eagle to feel comfortable with the fact that, you know, we have one extra already from the start. If we do hit perfect, we'll say. 10% over adjustment for the drive, and here you don't have to play with an extra mile. You can play with any other type of driver because we still have the distance. A little extra tip here would be to, if you do have a big topper, you can use a big topper and a power 0 ball, use the top spin, and therefore gain more distance and be way closer towards the pin. If we do have a tailwind, direct tailwind, we can use a power 3, power 4, power 5 ball and go very aggressive and get to the green directly in 2. Directly in 1. Second shot though, however, is going to be with a short iron. Those of you having lower level clubs where the ball guideline is not super, then we need to leave the ball guideline short. Have in mind that the green slopes slightly right to left. And therefore we need to make sure that we are kind of like compensating for that already by aiming so we can see that the ball guideline coming from right to left towards the pin. No elevation for the second shot, we're just gonna play it as it is, and we are going to do our very, very best here now to hit perfect. If we don't hit perfect, we're most likely gonna miss, but with a perfect ball, we know we're either gonna be super duper close or we're gonna get it in the hole for an eagle. So let's take a look at hole 6, and we're going to start with the drive. We go directly into the action. 4.5 bar topspin, 4.5 bar side spin to the right. And we are aiming for the ball guideline to be a little bit to the left of the fairway, but more towards the center than what it is to the rough. Once we have adjusted, we push the target up to max, and the adjustment is maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment. Here we can push this drive harder than we are doing, meaning that we can use either a better ball, a better power ball, power 4, power 5, or that we do go with overpower. The risk that you do take with lower accuracy clubs is that if you do hit a great ball, you could be miles left or miles right, and if you do get into the rough or into the sand with your drive, you cannot reach for the green in 2. Second shot, we're playing the rough bump here using a little topspin towards the pin. Here, this is going to be a difficult one, and it has been not as consistent as I expected it to be when playing this hole before. There is obviously a possibility for an albatross here, but the struggle is that we are playing this one massively downhill, and it's very difficult depending on where we are on that hill to know exactly how to adjust that shot. 20% over adjustment, maximum distance number is what I'm playing this one here, and as you can see, 2 bars of topspin, which in the end is gonna be a little bit too little. If you play with a power 4 or a power 5 ball, a sniper will be the more valuable club to use because you have a better ball guideline. This hole, especially in rookie division, is played more or less for an eagle with a very, very tiny chance for an albatross. So hole 7, we are going to play on the left hand side using a minimum of a side spin 2 ball. You can here using, you know, whatever long iron you might want, but I would recommend one that do have as minimum 4 bars of backspin. You can see that I'm using 4 backspin, and I'm also using left spin here, and the reason I'm using left spin is to counteract the push that we're getting from that sloped fairway, which otherwise will push us way right. So in the end, 4 backspin, 2.5 bar side spin, we are adjusting maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment. One thing to have in mind as well is if you play with a power 2 ball or a power 3 ball in tailwind / crosswind, you can reach for a rough bump by the green. That rough bump is tiny, but absolutely possible to play. So if you feel comfortable with an adjustment like that, I would definitely recommend you to check that one out. But bouncing like we did there works splendid as well without taking any sort of risk of missing, you know, a rough patch or something like that. So, for hole number 8 here, we are going to do, it's 2 ways of playing here. First, I want you to play with a power 1 ball minimum if we are only looking for laying up on the other side. Quasar Navigator doesn't really matter. Obviously, you can play with power 2, power 3 ball as well and get a little bit more distance. But 4.5 bar topspin here, and just aiming to be in between the bunker on the left and also the rough on the right in terms of with our ball guideline is gonna be very good, and that will bring a consistency in terms of distance for our shot, like to get the yardage notes in a perfect way, and you know you're gonna have a good chance for an eagle. 10% over adjustment, maximum distance numbers, and we are trying to get into a range that is 345 yards. 343 is not bad, but 345 yards is what we're looking for. One thing with the drive though, if we do have a tailwind, and if you have won some in the golden shot and you're saved some from the golden shot back in the day, then a power 5 ball would be a possibility to then actually get to the green in 1. And that will only be possible if you do have a tailwind. Just wanted to have that said so we don't miss out on that fun. Second shot here, we are using no elevation. We are very close to minimum distance of our club with a long iron. So it's either using the long iron with backspin or that we're going to have to use some topspin with our short iron. Obviously, if we have a straight tailwind, short iron would be better. But if we do have an angled tailwind or a crosswind or a headwind, the long iron is going to be the play. Adjust without any elevation whatsoever, and obviously it's very important to check if you are in minimum, medium, maximum distance and adapt your club distance adjustment from that. Bouncing on the fairway, getting it very close to the pin here for an eagle, but in the end we have a flat green, nothing to really intervene there. We're gonna see a lot of eagles here on hole number 8. So let's start off here with hole 9. Here, I would say it's very important to play with a driver that gives you a lot of curl, meaning that the quarterback is going to be the best driver to play with here. Side spin 3 ball as well, because we do need the side spin, not just the curl, but you know, playing with both of them combined is going to give ourselves more room for error. Maximum distance with no over adjustment or under adjustment for that matter. We adjust and then we push up our target to max. And then we're going to play with a curl like shown there in this shot. You see that we used approximately 1.5 ball curl and then we get it into a very nice distance. Why can't we go straight forward? It's because the fairway slopes right to left and will roll ourselves into the rough more than not. Second shot, we are going to play with a lot of elevation. 25% is what I will start with. That could be changed depending on what type of wind we're having, that we might gonna add or reduce just a little bit. But as a default, we play 25% and we're going for the rough bump. Have in mind, for a lower level sniper, we are going to have to leave the ball guideline a little bit short, because we don't have a fully developed ball guideline as we do have with sniper level 7+. And in the end, a rough bump is a good possibility. If you do feel uncomfortable with this, play directly to the green, meaning using backspin to then get the ball to stop. It will reduce the opportunity making an albatross big time. So if you do want to go really for an albatross on hole 9, you go for the rough bump, you follow the instructions, and then you're gonna, if you're lucky, get an albatross as we got here in this video. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Rookie Division for the Origin 9-hole cup. And have in mind, this is a very difficult tournament, especially for those of you playing with lower level clubs. And I'm not saying that just to justify why I'm using better balls, but I'm using on some of the holes better balls because I want at least to provide you with a route where we can see ourselves getting a drop, even if, you know, it sometimes might be, you know, the luck factor involved as well. But in the end, that is my goal, to give you an idea, give you a chance of maximized opportunity of winning the tournament, and also obviously reaching your goal, whatever goal you have set up. The video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Make sure you subscribe and get the best guides on the market on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. You find the link in the description down below. Thank you so much once again for watching, and good luck in the 9-hole cup.